Good afternoon, guys. Joy Connections here. I know I've already told you that cancer is real. I did a whole video on that. If you missed it, check on my videos. I did put a caption there that actually says cancer is real. But there's something else that is also real, and that is trauma. So this video is me saying cancer is real, trauma is real. In fact, I'll put it this way: trauma is as real as cancer is, and its effects, ripple effects, and its impact on human lives is as real as the impact of cancer is on human lives. In fact, if I speak from personal experience, sometimes the ripple effects of trauma are way worse than those of cancer. To be specific, the cancer in the first stage. You may be thinking, what the hell is she on about now? I will explain. Cancer in the first stage. Okay, thank you very much for that noise. Yeah, I'm sitting outside in the garden because I was starting to feel claustrophobic in the house. So yeah, let me continue. Why would I say some ripple effects of trauma can have worse impact on human lives, especially the lives of my fellow Zimbabweans? I'm going to be very specific in this video. What I'm saying might apply in other nationalities or in other nations or other countries, but I'm talking specifically to my fellow Zimbabweans. Everybody else can learn from us. Now, the effects of trauma can be worse than those of cancer of the first stage or maybe second stage. Why? Because first stage cancer or stage 2 cancer is almost always treatable, and that is if you seek help as soon as possible and you seek the right help. I did a video about the different beliefs and myths about cancer. If you listen to that video as well, some of those things might prevent you from getting treated. And the only reason then it wouldn't be treatable is because you derail your possibility of healing by believing those notions that I stated in the other video until the cancer has grown from stage 1 to stage 2 to stage 3. Some people will leave it even until it's stage 4 because of some beliefs that we have about cancer. One of them being cancer is not even real. Cancer is just a curse. Cancer is just a satanic event, or it's a satanic or demonic attack. Now, the same people that I'm addressing, that's Zimbabweans, a lot of us Zimbabweans will say the same thing about trauma. Trauma is not real. And I heard somebody said to me, trauma is not for us Zimbabweans. Shona is not for trauma is not for us Shona people. This person was saying, trauma is not for us African, Black, Zimbabweans. and it's not for us. This is a black nation. Because we are black, it means we do not crack. Now that's another thing. I hear people say that a lot, and nobody ever seems to correct it, which to me means people take it on and they're running with it as if it's true, even though we all know that it's not true. If you believe it's true, I would just say you've not yet faced a situation that will crack you. I've been cracked many times, and I'm considered one of very strong people in my extended family, not just my family. Now back to trauma being real. Some of these beliefs being shoved down your throat, whether you like it or not, being knocked into your head, whether you like it or not, being forced on you, whether you like it or not, cause the trauma that I'm talking about. And the worst thing, which makes the impact, the effects, and the ripples of it even worse than they should be, is the fact that the people that could help you with it do not believe it's real, do not believe it exists, and so help is never gonna come, because nobody seeks for a solution to something they don't believe exists. Or nobody seeks a solution or healing from something they believe to be attention seeking, they believe to be a luxury that we can't afford. So you find many people end up doing the unbelievable, the unthinkable, doing the extremes, because they are going through so much trauma and nobody wants to hear about it, nobody wants to acknowledge it, let alone help anybody with it. So you're finding people ending up taking their own lives because they have trauma that is constantly being called attention seeking, being called non-existent, being called a figment of your imagination. You find some people end up becoming aggressive verbally, emotionally, or even physically. In worst case scenarios, we've seen some people taking other people's lives instead of their own lives, especially if the causes of the trauma are always in the face of the victim. Now, you can say, oh, what trauma are you talking about, guys? There's so many traumas. There's so many things that cause trauma. Mistreatment in general, abuse in all its types and intensities and levels, neglect, rejection, and denial of realities that are right in your face and you still want to call them something else. Religion, having no one to hear you out, having no shoulders to cry on, being alone and lonely, being isolated, being excluded, being made to take the blame for somebody else because it serves the greater name of the family than the individual. I could go on from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. telling you a list of the things that have caused trauma to my fellow Zimbabweans and that people refuse to hear about. But I'm just making this point. Trauma is as real as cancer, and at times, if you face cancer when you're already going through this trauma that is worse feeling than cancer, you literally can pass through this cancer phase in a daze because you're hurting more from the trauma than from the cancer. If you have questions about this, hit me up.